Hi, everybody. Welcome into Region Weather Live. This is a special broadcast here tonight. Obviously, we've been talking about it over the last couple of days, but for the severe weather moving in, so I want to get right to it right now. We do have a brand new tornado warning for Lake County. This goes until 6. If you're in Lake County right now, we have some time, okay? It's not on our doorstep right now. We've got a little bit of time to prepare for this. There is no confirmed tornado with this. There are two areas of rotation we've been watching in that Will County storm that have had some signs of rotation, and these are going to produce or could produce quick spin-up tornadoes. So I don't want everyone panicking right now. I just want you to put your severe weather practice into practice, and we've got obviously that tornado warning out till 6 o'clock, so we've got a little time till this moves in. It's just out towards the west. It'll take you through the radar right now. There's a general severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued for pretty much all of Northwest Indiana, exception being southern Newton and Jasper counties. You can see with this yellow box here, that's for this dangerous line of storms that's moving in with the damaging wind threat here. But the big threat that we're going to keep our eye on is for the tornado warning. A lot of you saying sirens going off, rightfully so. A lot of you getting those alerts on your phone. So let's dive into where this is and what we're looking at right now. So when you look at this radar, again, I mentioned it before, you're looking at reflectivity. This shows where the heavy rain is. So we've got a wall of heavy rain. There's also hail within this as well. If you have a chance, we mentioned it on the broadcast last night, that we need to make sure that we have our car either in the garage or in a carport just for the potential for hail. We haven't had anything too extremely large, but there's been a lot of hail in these storms out towards the west, and we could have some golf ball size hail with some of these storms. So if you're anywhere in the region, just get the car in the garage. Don't leave it outside. If it is outside, that's fine, right? You can't do anything about it. But overall, that's something we can do to prepare for this. All right, let's get to our tornado warning area, though. You can see these two areas of rotation. This shows reflectivity, which shows the rainfall, how heavy it is within the storm. In this case, we don't really care about that. So we're going to go inside that same storm, and we're going to look at the wind. And we've got two distinct areas that could be producing a quick spin up right now, or maybe there's a wall cloud with it. We'll continue to keep an eye on that. But this area right here, and then we've got another one up here near Homewood. I would keep my eye on this one as well. None of them scream tornado to me. The southern one right here is a little bit of a better indicator, but there is a gust of very strong wind coming out. That's what you're looking at here on radar, are really strong damaging winds. And you can see how that whole thing is kind of gusting out in advance of this storm system. All right. So in terms of what we're dealing with this tornado warning, here are the latest in terms of the wordage of it. Again, northwestern Lake County, you see where it is. Capable of producing a tornado along a line from Homewood to Steger to near Beecher. It's moving northeast at 55. They're going to be near Highland, Dyer, Sauk Village, Riverdale, Griffith, St. John, East Chicago, and Lansing here in another 10 minutes or so. Gary around 5:40, so we've got another 7 minutes or so, all right? So if you're in areas of western Lake County right now, again, we need to put into practice what we preach, and that means get to the lowest floor of your house, okay? If you do not have a basement, that's okay as well. You want to make sure you just put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, okay? And keep this on. Keep this broadcast on. That way we can kind of talk you through what's going on. We can let you know when you need to come out of your safe space and all of that, all right? So a couple areas of rotation that we're watching within this. This whole line that's moving in is not going to produce huge, robust, long-lived tornadoes. These are quick spin-up tornadoes. I don't want you to think that that means it's a small tornado, though. That's not going to cause some damage. On top of that tornado threat that we have moving into northwest Indiana right now, we also have a damaging wind threat, and that damaging wind is going to cause some problems regardless of if you get a tornado or not, all right? We've got winds in the excess of 60 miles per hour with this. We've had some close to 70 mile per hour gusts as well. So some reports coming in from the west right now. Ford County near Gibson City had 60 mile per hour winds and nickel-size hail. They have obviously some strong winds with that as well. We've got all the tornado sirens going off in northwest Indiana and Lake County right now, and that is a precaution to tell people that are outside that you need to get inside. Tornado warnings are not meant to trigger the outdoor sirens to tell you inside that there's a tornado. You're not supposed to hear it from inside. It's not meant for you. So if you can't hear a tornado siren right now, you should have another way that you can get alerts for tornadoes, and you should have gotten warned if you're in Lake County about this. If not, you need to either download an app or do something so you can get warned with stuff like this, okay? So here's our storm right now. Dyer, heads up, you need to be in your safe place right now. There is a very strong wind gust just out towards your west. It'll be there in probably another minute or two. Schererville, you've got probably another 3 or 4 minutes before this hits. Same for you in St. John. Up towards Munster, the wind is going to be gushing in there as well. This is the part of the storm producing some very strong wind, though. And again, that's going to head through Dyer, Griffith, into the Schererville and St. John area here in the next 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Real strong winds with that. Let me back out of that, though, so we can keep our eye on this little area of rotation. This would be where we would have likely a wall cloud or perhaps a small tornado on the ground. I don't see any reports of it right now. Again, I am tied into the National Weather Service, so we're getting reports left and right. And there are those two areas that we talked about. But this right here would be heading to the northeast towards the St. John area, okay? So St. John, Schererville, Dyer, all in your safe spots right now. Get at the lowest level of your building or your house. And again, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you do not have a basement, that's fine, all right? Get in the interior room, whether that be a bathroom or whatever it is. Get cozy, all right? If you've got kids, I've got 4 kids of my own. I get it. It doesn't need to be a scary thing. It's just a protective and a safety thing. One of the other things that we want to do is we want to, and I know this sounds weird, you want to get your shoes on, all right? If you have a baseball helmet, motorcycle helmet, football helmet, not a bad idea to put those on as well. And why do I say that? Well, it protects your head from anything happening. You can make it a game with the kids. The shoes you want to get on, worst case scenario, you know, we do have a tornado that goes through and you have some damage, all right? That is worst case scenario. That does not happen to many people, but that's something we're keeping a really close eye on here, okay? So worst case scenario, that does happen. And stuff's a mess, right? You want to have shoes on when you're done with that, okay? Those are the 2 tips that I got when I was forecasting down in Georgia. We had 62 tornadoes during that time. We got everyone out of it safely, okay? So that's our whole goal through this, is to keep everyone safe, keep property protected, and go from there. All right, the wind is now in Dyer right now. If you are in Dyer, go ahead, throw in the comments in there what you are hearing outside. Likely just some very strong winds in that area. The good news right now for St. John and Dyer, I don't see a real good signature for a tornado within this. It's become a little bit more linear, so that's some good news. The bad news is we still have very strong winds right in here, 60 plus miles per hour that are heading north and east, okay? So it's a widespread area of some damaging winds within the storm that's heading out towards the east. All right, let me see. Let me take a quick look. A lot of pea-sized hail with these as these reports are coming in. Let's zoom out real quick, and you can see that's the extension of that tornado warning. All right, we've got a new tornado warning down towards the south. This is for this storm and this portion of the line that's coming out of the Moments area down towards Hopkins Park. This will head into areas of southern Lake County and northern Newton counties, all right? You've got more time on this than Lake County has, but this is the area of rotation right here. We've actually got some wind flowing in, another little area of wind flowing in, and we've got some rotation right there in that portion of the storm. Another area we'll watch back here. And again, this is that setup that we were talking about yesterday, where we've got a squall line coming in and we watch for these little notches within this, and these notches can produce quick spin-up tornadoes. The instability is not off the charts today. We have really not that much instability outside, but the shear is making up for it. Remember, that is always the battle between those two things. The shear, or the twisting of winds with height or turning of winds with height, is outweighing the fact that we don't have a lot of ability to lift these things. So these are low-end, low-top tornadoes that we've got going on across the region. So if you are in areas of southern Lake County, this does include Lowell, down towards the Schneider Community Lake Village. You've got a little bit of time. Again, I would do it now, but get to your safe place in those areas. We'll cover that storm once it gets a little bit closer. This Lake County storm is producing some really strong winds, all right? And again, just because it's producing damaging winds and we may not see that tornado signature on this right now, you need to be in your safe place, because damaging strong winds can produce just as much damage as a weak tornado, all right? So let's treat this like a tornado. That's why they've got the tornado warning. I totally agree with the warning and where the watch box is. We'll see if they issue this further out towards the east. I would imagine that they do, but there is a strong gust of wind coming in to Lake County right now. Meanwhile, for those of you that are a little bit further off towards the north, mind you, up in the Hammond area, East Chicago, this storm's not quite to you yet. It's really down towards the Munster, Cherville, St. John area that this storm is kind of bowing into right now. We haven't quite seen the worst of the winds or the strongest winds in the northern half of the county. And those winds may not be as strong for you. It's really these bright yellows that you're looking at right here. That's where we've got those strong damaging winds. And again, this is heading east-northeast as it continues to bow out. So let's kind of track this out a little bit further. Let's get to the latest tornado warning. I want to see the movement on this northeast at 50. Okay, we were thinking anywhere from 45 to 55 in terms of that. Let me see a couple reports coming in now. Reports are actually pouring in from these storms in Illinois. A lot of pea-sized hail, strong winds in Chicago east of O'Hare. We don't care about that. Yeah, and we're talking about the area rotation. That's what Weather Service is looking at. Heading towards Hammond, Munster, Dyer, and Highland areas. Okay, that's the same storm we're tracking. All right, let's track this out here as we kind of take a look at where this storm is going. So we're going from this area here. Let's see. Okay, let me get my tracker tool on real quick. So this thing's heading kind of in that direction, around 50, we'll put it at. All right, so that brings it into, let me open this window up a little bit more. So that'll bring it into the Highland area in less than a minute. We knew that. Van Loon in 4 minutes and Black Oak in about 6 minutes. Let's get another track on this here, and we'll track it kind of this way. We've got 50 still on it. And then this will bring it into New Elliott around 3 minutes and Ross in about 7 minutes, okay? So those are the communities. Eventually into Hobart, Maryville, you've still got a little bit of time as well, all right, in terms of this. So let's turn these off. We'll go back to our radar mode. Let's go back to reflectivity real quick. We'll see where the heavy rain is and all that good jazz. So here we go. Heavy rain now pushing into East Chicago and Hammond. There's some hail with this as well. So if you're in Hammond, there's some hail. This storm by far is the leading edge of this main line moving in. So Dyer, you are in the thick of it right now. You've probably got nickel-sized hail falling. Cherville, the raindrops are just now starting. All right, Griffith, you've got another 2 minutes or so before the heavy rain hits. Maryville, probably another 5 or 6 minutes until this moves in and crosses the I-65 corridor. But this is going to be a mess. I mean, we mentioned this for that evening commute, and this is right in the heart of that evening commute. So this is really going to mess up 65 here. Crown Point, you've got probably another 6 or 7 minutes before this moves in. This northern appendage is just going to clip you. You may have to wait for this back end stuff to move in. But then down towards the south, notice how we've got the tornado warning for you in Lake Village and areas of southern Lake County and northern Newton County, but everything's still back to the west. We've still got a good 10, 15 minutes or so before that moves in for you, okay? So we are not going to cover that storm yet. Despite the fact you have a tornado warning, we still have some time. This is our dangerous storm right now that is moving in and through Lake County. Notice, I want to zoom out for you so you can tell where you are. Please know your geography in terms of where you are in the county right now, because that's crucial, right? Here's our storm, all right? Here's I-65 right here. This storm is still west of 65, moving east-northeast around 50 miles per hour. I want to get back to our reflectivity again, or go back to our velocity mode. And in terms of this storm system right now, so the tornado signature is just off towards the north. This is just to the west of Highland right now. This right here is the area of rotation that we're watching. There would be a tornado in that spot of this storm, okay? Cherville, you've got strong winds. We've got to keep our eye on this leading edge, but this is the most dangerous part of the storm. And we just got radars in sales mode, so it's updating very frequently. This is the latest update right now. That tornado would be crossing through the north side of Highland right now, just now crossing the Borman, all right? And that would include Klein Avenue. That's where the center of this rotation is right now, right over Klein Avenue and the Borman, heading off towards the northeast. So Klein Gardens, getting into Grand Park. This will eventually get into the Gary area. Heads up for you, the Gary Chicago International Airport would likely be just clipped by this potential area of rotation. But all those areas, if you're in a tornado warning right now, you want to be in a safe place. But that is the most dangerous part of the storm right there, going right over the Borman and Klein Avenue. All right, very, very obviously busy interchange there along the Borman, especially this time of day. So I pray that we do not have a tornado on the ground right now, and that thing is either lifted in the atmosphere or it's just radar indicated right now, okay? If you have friends or family in this area or in Gary right now, make sure that they know that there's a tornado warning coming and that we continue to have at least the potential for a tornado to be on the ground right now. Let me check reports right now. Let's see. Weather Service saying most likely area for tornado in Lake County is near Highland. Yes, it's moving northeast 4550. We already covered that. Threat for a brief wake tornado also continues in eastern Kankakee County. That's that one still out towards the west. It's going to head over towards Schneider, okay? Heading towards Shelby and Schneider. So we already covered that. We'll get back down there in a second. But this is by far our most populated area, so we're going to cover Lake County first here as your threat is imminent here with this storm system. All right, so if you're in the Gary area, take cover right now. This would be where the tornado is, right on this north side here. Now has crossed the Borman, is now towards the Brunswick community, getting towards the Gary-Chicago Regional Airport, and then eventually getting into Gary, okay? This thing's heading northeast like that. Should be out over the lake in another 6 or 7 minutes, all right? It'd be out there. But again, this is going to cross through Gary first, okay? So friends or family, make sure they're alert and ready to go. Strong winds heading through Griffith right now. Schererville, you've got strong winds. Your tornado threat is over in Schererville, but the damaging wind threat continues. We still have hail as well. Maryville, this storm's getting close. It continues to head from the Dyer area along US 30 there. It's getting into the Lincoln Village area, Rolling Hill Estate right now. This will bring strong winds into you. I don't see a huge tornado threat for you right now. That tornado threat is in this portion of the storm, that little kink that we see. We've got strong inflow, and that can spin something up right here. All right, that's what we're concerned with. I do not see that down towards the south, but I do see a damaging wind risk with this moving in. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with there. Down towards the south, we now have our next storm approaching the state line as you get down towards southern areas of Lake County, northern Newton County. This storm is approaching you as well. The dangerous part of this storm that could be producing a tornado right now is right here near Edgetown in Woodland. Pretty good signature there that we may have something spinning. If it's down on the ground or aloft, that kind of remains to be seen, and we rely on spotters for that. But this storm is heading towards Schneider, okay? So if you're in that area or even in Lowell, be in your safe place right now. You're on the outer fringe of this tornado warning, but still, you are in the path of that storm as it continues off towards the north and east, okay? So let's time this one out. We'll kind of draw this out in that direction. It's moving about 50 miles per hour. So that would bring the area rotation into Schneider in about 7 minutes, Orchard Grove in about 15 minutes, Dinwiddie, one of my favorite towns to pronounce, in 18 minutes, and Rangeline in about 18 minutes as well, okay? So that is for the path of rotation with the storm that's in southern Lake County. And really, this doesn't look to be, as of right now, much of a Newton County problem. I know we've got the tornado warning there. We'll keep our eye on the second area of rotation. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but by far, this is the better area of rotation that would be capable of producing a tornado there, okay? Let's head back to the Lake County storm. I would imagine we've got something brewing here, guys. This is a good tornado signature in my mind that is right over or just south of the Gary-Chicago International Airport, all right? So if you have friends or family in this area, this includes the Leashwood area. This includes the toll road as it goes through the Gary area, the town of Pine, the airport as well, heading up towards US Steel, the big plants up there. This storm is heading right towards that direction right now. And I would imagine we've either got a wall cloud with us or perhaps we have a tornado on the ground with us. We need to treat it like we have a tornado on the ground, all right? So if you have friends or family working right now at US Steel, I know they've got a lot of people, third shift workers tend to go in, not at this time, but a little bit later on tonight. Second shift workers working, let them know. Just say they need to take cover right now. Let US Steel, anyone you know there, that they need to take cover because this storm is coming right for them right now. We don't have confirmation that there's a tornado on the ground, all right? But we do have confirmation that there's a really good radar indication that there is rotation and that this might be in the sky, could be surface-based, and if it's surface-based, we would have a tornado with that, okay? So this is going through Gary right now. This is going to be mainly the northwest side of Gary getting hit by this one. Down towards Marshalltown, you've just got strong winds coming your way. New Chicago Lake Station, we've got some time on this. This area of rotation that we're watching is eventually going to push out over the lake here. The other thing it's interacting with, and a lot of you messaged me today about this, about that warm frontal boundary that was here. A lot of areas along the lakeshore were in the 40s for much of the day as that warm front was hanging out. and I said, we want that warm front out of here, because warm fronts, when storms interact with them in this kind of environment, can produce quick spin up tornadoes as well. It can act as kind of a shear, a different thing that makes shear to the atmosphere. So that being said, we need to make sure that, we're on high alert, despite the fact some of the temperatures along the lakeshore in the 40s, okay? All right, so let's get down to the south again. The strong winds are now moving into New Chicago. Maryville, an update on you. The winds are starting to pick up. Strongest winds are actually just to your north, bowing out here. So we're going to have strong winds for you in Maryville, but they're not going to be quite as bad as they are just off towards your north along I-65 right now, okay? And then down towards Crown Point, you have strong damaging winds as well. They are not as strong as they are off in northern Lake County as well, okay? Kind of a zoomed out view of this. This is the area of wind that is causing the greatest damage. This is our area of rotation, which is now getting out over the lake, thank goodness. And then down towards the south, yeah, we still got wind. It's still strong, but the worst part of it is off towards the north, all right? Let's check on that tornado warning storm down towards the south. And notice the Weather Service, we have lost that tornado warning. It still exists, but we have not extended it. And I don't see that they have so far. All right, it's more of a damaging wind threat as of now. I don't see any wordage as if they're going to extend it or not. It doesn't look like they are going to. I'm a little concerned that they did not extend that tornado warning into this portion of Gary, though, because that is the area that we are watching. It's offshore now, thank goodness, but I hope we didn't have a tornado outside of that warning box. All right, so severe thunderstorm warnings continue, all right? Just because it's not a tornado warning doesn't mean we don't need to be concerned about it, all right? There was a lot of double negatives, but I think you know what I mean. The severe thunderstorm warning that we have that goes out for areas of Porter County right now, including Valpo, Portage, Chesterton, we need to take that seriously. That's for these strong winds moving in. We still have some time on that. Let me time that out just so we get kind of a good idea of when these are going to be blowing through. This is for the strongest area winds, okay? Let me redo that. I'm going to redo that real quick because it just moved on me. All right, this is for the strongest area of damaging winds. We'll time it out towards the north and the east. So you can expect those strong winds to move in Lake Station about 3 minutes, Portage in about 8 minutes, Ogden Dunes 9, Burns Harbor about 12 minutes until those damaging winds arrive. Porter, you've got another 15 minutes. Ditto that for Chesterton. We've got, let's see, Graham Woods in 18 minutes, Furnaceville in 19 minutes, Beverly Shores 22 minutes till this arrives, and the town of Pines in about 24 minutes. Okay, so we've got some time once you get up towards the Michigan City area. I saw some comments coming into that area. All right, so let's dive back in. Let me get my tracker off. We're going to go back to the radar real quick, and you can see this storm. I'm going to zoom out and give you kind of the grand scale here once I get my tracker out of there. And we're down to one tornado warning right now. That's for this storm down in southern areas of Lake County that we're concerned with. Another area of rotation in northern Newton County. We'll dive into that in a second. Meanwhile, we have just some very heavy, blinding rain coming in and some hail with this and very gusty winds that we've been tracking. I'm going to stop the radar here to where it is and track where it is right now. So Maryville, you are getting soaked right now. We've got hail for you. There's hail in Crown Point right now. Gary, the tornado threat is over. You've got hail and strong winds with heavy rain right now. Hobart, the raindrops are just starting outside. It's going to become a heavy downpour here shortly with strong winds moving in. New Chicago, you're already in it. Lake Station, you're next. Portage, you'll be, again, we mentioned probably another 7 to 10 minutes or so before this arrives for you. Down towards the Green Acres area, you're getting into the heavy rain right now along US 30. Winfield, another 5 or 10 minutes. Crown Point, you're in the thick of it. Let's pull up. I haven't looked at this yet. Let's look at the hail radar to tell where that biggest hail is within this. And again, this is going to update every 5 minutes or so. So this is obviously about 4.5 minutes behind. But I don't see any huge hail with this. That's great news. Everything seems to be kind of pea size or smaller here. All right. Excuse me. So that's some good news. But we do have hail within this as well. All right. Let's get back to the rotation. We'll look inside the storm and look at the wind. I mean, it is just gushing out, as indicated by these bright yellows here across northwest Indiana. So strong winds are getting into Lake Station here in the next minute or so, likely on the order of 50, 60 miles per hour. I would say easy with this. Let me see here. We've got a new severe thunderstorm watch got issued out towards the east. Let's see. Pea-sized hail reported at Klein Avenue, St. John, and Crown Point. We already got that. And again, that's my goal, folks, is to make sure that we have, before these reports and before these warnings get issued, that we call it. And that's what I love to do. And again, I'm the most humble meteorologist you'll meet, trust me. But these Emmy Awards I got behind me are for calling tornado warnings before they get issued. All right, and that's our goal, is to give you as much lead time as we can with any of these storms. And the good news right now is, heading into Porter County, I don't see any threat of a tornado right now, but I see the damaging winds. All right, you can see the damaging winds. We'll keep our eye on that little kind of weird feedback that we're getting in Lake Station right now. I don't see a tornado warning needed for that, but again, strong winds there. Down towards the south, let's track this in. We'll see if they extend the tornado warning down towards the south, but this would be a good indicator that we still have some rotation near Schneider right now. This will get, I know it's outlying locations, this is just south of Lowell right now. So the worst part of this storm down towards the south in terms of that tornado warning for you folks in Lowell is going to be just south of you, okay, south of the little town there. Out towards the east, we have to keep an eye on Shelby, Rangeline, Dinwiddie. We talked about that earlier. That's where this area of rotation will be headed, okay? So that's our tornado coverage for that. I don't see anything in the southern half of this. So Newton County right now, I don't see much of a reason for a tornado warning for you anymore. There's some scattered rotation back there, but nothing definitive. Be in your safe place just in case from Lake Village down towards the south. But really, that threat to me is from just the north of Snyder right now, heading out towards Rangeline and south of Lowell in this little notch right here. Okay, we got a new scan. Let's check. Still getting some strong winds. If you guys can let me know what you're seeing right now in Maryville, Sherrville, Crown Point, Cedar Lake, Hammond, all those areas, even in Gary. I know we've got heavy rain right now. We had some pea-sized hail. Let me know what the winds are doing more specifically, because we have a lot of wind here. I imagine the strong winds are here. Okay, they are. But back in here, I would imagine this goes more aloft. All right. Are the winds still howling outside, or have they backed off a bit in those locations? All right. And thank you for those updates. Guys, keep an eye on the chat. I mean, I know you guys are seeing the chat in there. That chat is not there for me. All right. It does help me, and I do appreciate all the reports. But I want it to help each other as well. Okay. So whatever you guys are seeing, you can feed off of each other and do that, because I don't have time to cover every town. We'll do our best that we can. Okay. Seeing a lot of folks saying that the strong wind continues. Becca says County Line Road, very windy, says Dana, in the Hobart area. Strong winds and heavy rain. The hail's all done, says Tim. Thank you for that. Great reports coming in, guys. That's awesome. A lot of people saying the wind is crazy. Some of you say not so much. It just depends on where you are. All right, so let's get back to where we need to be in terms of this. Let's see. West Chicago has big power lines down south of Route 64. Just got that report in. And that area rotation down in the Kankakee Lake, Southern Lake County area. That's good news. We already covered that. They say the rotation's weakened. Still moving towards Shelby and rural areas. Yeah, this is all stuff we've covered, so this is great news. I don't like the look of this, though, guys. This still has an area of rotation here down now to the northeast of Okay, it has weakened a little bit in that last scan, but still, this could flare something up a little bit further out towards the east. So a heads up to you. I'm going to give you a good heads up. In Couts right now, Wanata, La Crosse, we're going to keep a close eye on this right here. It's got some rotation with it, probably not producing a tornado right now, maybe a wall cloud. I don't want that to get worse for you guys, okay? All right, let's head back off towards the north. Our strong winds are now moving into Portage, South Haven, Lake Station. You've got the strong winds now. Hobart, you're in the thick of it right now. Ogden Dunes, the wind is just picking up. This wind will get into Porter, Chesterton, Burns Harbor here, probably another 5 or 10 minutes. And then down towards the Valparaiso area, it looks like the worst part of this storm is kind of bowing out to the north. So for you in Valpo, the worst of this is going to miss you to the north as it looks right now. But we can't let our guard down, because folks in Crown Point are saying the wind has been crazy and that portion of the storm's moving in. But I just want you to know perspective. We've got a bad part of the storm, and then we've got a worse part of the storm. All right. So those two things, both are going to cause some damage or the potential for it. But that's something we'll be watching for you in Valpo. All right, let's go back to reflectivity. We'll be able to tell you where the heavy rain is. I mean, this just looks nasty, does it not? When you look at a radar like this, again, this doesn't show tornadoes. This just shows how heavy the rain is, all right? And if you have hail mixing in, sometimes that can happen in storm systems like we're seeing right now. That's where you get the reds and the pinks and the whites on our radar. All the radars are color scaled differently, but that's how we've color scaled this one. And you can see, I mean, it's coming down in buckets. There is a wall of water and wind, basically, that comes in the Lake Station and the Portage area. South Haven, again, you're next. And what we look for as meteorologists, if you have a line and it's a straight line, then that's fine. Straight line is just fine. All right, I just made up the saying. Straight line is just fine. But what we're not seeing here is a straight line. We've got this kind of bowing segment here. And when you have bowing segments on reflectivity, the radar, it's often an indicator that you've got damaging winds. And what's actually happening inside that snow or that storm, that severe thunderstorm, is you've got wind that's gushing down to the surface from the strong winds aloft, and the wind can't go into the ground, so it goes out, and it goes out fast in a spot that you have the strongest winds within that storm. So if the strong wind is here, this part bows out, if that makes sense. If you don't have strong wind here, it kind of stays in a line. So this tells me that, and we can verify that, and we've been talking about it, that we've got the real strong winds in this portion of the storm right here. Okay, just some meteorology 201 for you. It's free. And then down towards the south, this is a good sign. Whenever the storm kind of goes back like that, there's usually not a lot of wind with it. It's the bowing parts we have to watch. And then we've got kind of some scattered activity down towards the south. We'll keep an eye on those because those are still cellular. So those could become, they're likely supercells, which I don't want that word to scare anyone. There's supercell thunderstorms all over the place. But they could have some rotation with it, and that's what we're going to keep our eye on. Nothing right now that would be of concern. All right, we're going to reset, re-rack, and we'll take these storms through the next couple communities where they're going. We'll give you a heads up. We have our severe thunderstorm warning for winds that could exceed 70 miles per hour. We've seen gusts over 60 easily with a lot of these. The damage threat is considerable. You'll notice there are damage threat tags to all the warnings. You want to read the words when you get a warning on your phone because the Weather Service puts a lot of thought into that. 70 mile per hour wind gusts are possible with these storms. Quarter-size hail is possible as well. And in terms of the tag on it, there's also that possible tornado tag, and that's what we've been tracking here. All right? But that severe thunderstorm warning is out for areas of Lake County still. We're still dealing with that storm, but it is now pushing into areas of Porter County. So you're up next. And then down towards the south, we're continuing to keep our eye on this portion of the storm, although it is much weaker than that portion to the north, okay? So let's dive into the details. We'll go back to the wind. In terms of the heavy rain right now, Burns Harbor, you're next. Portage coming down real good right now, all right? I would be obviously in your safe place right now just from the damaging wind aspect of this storm. Valpo, you can hear the thunder and lightning off towards your west. It's getting dark. You might have a few raindrops initially, but the bulk of this is over areas just out towards the west. Wheeler, Sedley, along US 30, dealing with some really heavy rain right now. That heavy rain is moving in to, let's see, we can zoom down to street level, which is pretty cool. That heavy rain is getting towards where West Joliet Road splits off of US 30 there. That's where the downpours are beginning right now. So Valpo, you've got another 5 minutes or so. Winfield, you're in the thick of it in terms of the heavy rain right now. This gets down towards the south, Southeast Grove. Dinwiddie picking up some heavy rain right now. Hebron, you're seeing some rain drops. Nothing bad yet, but that wind is going to pick up, and eventually that rain will as well. I think the worst of the storm is going to miss you just toward the north. This is by far the worst part of this entire line right now is moving through north and central areas of Porter County, all right? So let's time this out. We'll go back to the wind radar in just a second. That is not what I want to do. Let's time this out in terms of its movement with these strong winds. We'll take it that way. We'll go 50 on it. So in terms of timing out the strongest winds, that initial wind gust that moves in, South Haven 2 minutes, I would say it's over you right now. Woodville in about 8, Babcock in 4. Chesterton another 8 minutes until this moves in for you. Let's see, Burdick around 12 minutes, Otis 16, Pinhook around 19 minutes, all right, until those strong winds move in to your areas, okay? All right, let's go back to the wind radar. We'll look at velocity. And wow, that is just a ball of wind with this thing. I mean, everyone's reports that are coming in, they're talking about hail right now, the heavy rain and the wind. My goodness, you have certainly I don't even know what words I'm looking for. You're certainly right. That's what I'm looking for, because this has just real strong winds on the leading edge of it. All right, couple areas I want to clear out right now. We still have wind, but it's backing off a bit for you in Gary, Hammond, Cherville, still some heavy rain. But guys, your severe threat is over in these locations right here. Crown Point, give it another 5 minutes or so, but we can clear you out in terms of severe threat back in areas of western Lake County. Okay, good news for you. Out towards the east, our threat is now in Porter County. And notice the new severe thunderstorm warning. Boy, do I like this. We talked about this. This is the most dangerous part of the storm. This, not so much. So what does the Weather Service do? They issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this portion of the storm right here. All right, our northern half. That does include LaPorte. So brand new severe thunderstorm warning for LaPorte County for the storm producing these damaging winds. All right, so we now have heavy rain pushing into the Chesterton area. Another minute or so. There you go. There's our update. Another minute or so, this thing will be moving in. And you can see downtown Chesterton right now, we're dealing with raindrops just starting to begin out towards the west. Burns Harbor, you're in the middle of it right now. Portage, the heavy rain and the hail starting to back off ever so slightly. You'll be out of it here in another 10, 15 minutes. South Haven, you're in the middle of it right now. In terms of Valparaiso itself, this is approaching Lincoln Hills. This is going to eventually get to Valpo, probably another 3 or 4 minutes or so before that heavy rain and that wind hits. Then off towards the north, notice Lakeview getting into it as well. Further down to the south, Winfield, you've got the heavy rain. Wanata, you have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning out for you. You've still got some time. In fact, we're starting to see kind of a rain shield develop on the leading edge of this. And that rain shield, I'm not going to say it's going to help to kind of stabilize it and make the storm a little bit less severe as it moves into your area. But it certainly isn't a bad thing to see some rain develop out in advance of it. And this portion of storm right here for Cedar Lake down towards Lowell is putting down just some heavy soaking rain right now with some gusty winds. But your severe threat is winding down for you in Crown Point. Winfield, you've still got some hail, heavy rain for you right now. I would give it another 5 or 10 minutes. And I mean, you're just getting a good soaking right now, but that will continue for another 5 or 10 minutes. Let's look at the wind down towards the south. I noticed we've lost that tornado warning in our southern counties. Good. We talked about that being certainly something that they probably should have done, and they did, which is great. I don't see any rotation issues down for you in Rensselaer, Morocco, down towards Schneider. That threat has gone away for you. Couts, still a little messy in terms of the wind down here towards Rangeline. That's the portion of the storm we were watching for rotation. We'll continue to keep our eye on it. I don't want us to let our guard down on this. These things can spin up again, especially on the southern end of that storm system. But right now, we look good. I do not see a tornado threat. But man, these damaging winds are really rocking Chesterton right now. If you're in the Chesterton area, if you could let me know what you're seeing in terms of winds. I mean, obviously from a safe place. Danielle, I just happened to catch your long comment on here. This is a great call. And again, I wanted to focus on the tornado warning when we first started. But yes, a lot of you are dealing with the muddy cars right now. There was dust that got picked up once again. This is the second storm system this has happened with. In both storms last week, the storm system last week and the storm system that we're getting today, both of them took a similar path where we had strong gusty winds that came out of New Mexico and Texas. They produced a dust storm down there because there's wind and it's dry on the dry side of things before the humidity hits, right? And that dust went airborne big time, like just tons of dust went airborne. You could see it on satellite today. And the storm system with the low pressure that's moving through picked it up. So we've got now dust in our atmosphere, and that dust is attaching itself to raindrops, all right? So those raindrops each have little dust particles in it. So when the rain is falling, it's kind of a muddy rain, we'll call it. So a lot of your cars are kind of muddy. You'll notice that when you get outside after these storms move through. The car washes are going to be slammed tomorrow, all right? Despite the fact it's going to be cold, we're going to have snow in the morning. But either way, it is a muddy rain for a lot of you. It's not equal for everyone in Northwest Indiana because that dust, I mean, like much like if you went with dust, it would go kind of all over the place and it wouldn't be equally dispersed. But a lot of you tomorrow morning are going to wake up, or you're even seeing it now. It's kind of a muddy rain. So there's that. Christopher, I got your comment. You said your hood is orange. I mean, a lot of you are dealing with that. Tina says the dirty cars were from dust blown in the atmosphere. Yeah, absolutely. So Pretty interesting. All right, so there's that. All right, let's get back to these storms. Again, when I'm showing you this radar, this is the wind. This is our primary concern right now. Hail is a concern. It's remained not too bad so far. We've seen nickel-sized hail at the largest, which is great news. We would like to keep it that way. Let me get back real quick. I've lost my chat here because I've been chatting too long on here. Just give me a moment. I'm going to log back in so I can get the chats from the Weather Service here. All right, let's see. I only missed 7 messages. Okay, we've got, we mentioned that earlier. Okay, everything we've mentioned earlier, good. Okay, Benton County, which is just south of our area, some slight rotation by Otterbein. We're keeping our eye on that. That's fine. Strong straight line winds near Chesterton right now. We've been covering that. Valpo, capable of 70. Pea-size hail in Ogden Dunes. Yep, we are all caught up, folks. We're caught up from the Weather Service, so nothing that that we didn't know about here. Okay, 1 second. Where am I here? All right, I've lost my chat. Where is my chat? Okay, all right, very good. Okay, we're back. There we go. All right, we're back. I hit the wrong button and it like escaped everything. Not good. Okay, so in terms of our first thing I'm going to look for when we look at the radar, let's go back to reflectivity. All right, we'll get you through where the storm is right now. So these are, I'm not going to cover these. All right, these are general, just thunderstorms and downpours for you in Wheatfield. There may be some small hail. I do not see a tornado threat from that. This little squall line that we have is the big show right now. Notice how it's kind of bowed out. The worst part of this line is this portion right here, okay? Getting into that area. So that includes you in Michigan City. Chesterton, again, you are in the middle of it. Porter, you're in the middle of it right now. It'll get better in about 5 minutes. Heads up to you in Beverly Shores, Town of Pines, Michigan City. We've got damaging winds coming your way, okay? That's what I prepare for. That is the main threat from this line from here on out is going to be for damaging winds, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, all right? We can get through that as long as we're prepared. Just get to a safe place just in case. You know, I mean, 70 mile per hour winds can cause just as much damage as a weak tornado. Just keep that in mind. So damaging winds, primary threat, you're going to get some hail and you're going to get some very heavy rain when this moves in. It's going to look like a hurricane briefly as this moves through. The Indiana Dunes National Park right now, one of my favorite places. In the state park, getting rocked right now by strong winds. Beverly Shores, Town of Pines, probably another 2 minutes for you before this moves in. Down towards Valparaiso, this system is coming in kind of at an angle, all right? That's good news. We've got strong winds for you, yes, but the strongest winds are north where it's bowing out. So this is kind of coming in where you've got rain that's gradually picking up in intensity. It is going to get heavy for you in Valpo. But overall, the worst, the most severe part of this storm is off towards your north. So I'm not incredibly worried about Valpo right now in terms of damaging winds and a huge threat. We are going to have strong winds, but again, the worst is off towards your north. I like the way this is coming in. It's not bowing in and flying in. It's kind of easing its way into the Valparaiso area with heavier rain. There will be some hail and there will be some stronger winds. Let's go back to the wind radar again. We'll take you through that. You can see there's just an incredible gust of wind. Again, strongest here, probably approaching 70 here, probably on the order of 50, maybe 60 in this area, okay? I hate to divide it like that and say one is worse than the other, but one is worse than the other, all right? Chesterton, you got hit pretty hard from this. Let me know what you guys are seeing in Chesterton. Shane, I see your comment on there. I just happened to catch that. Shane, if you could let me know, kind of, you said it lasted about 4 minutes. That makes sense. What lasted for 4 minutes? Did you get real strong winds? You know, what on the scale of, you know, really, really bad to like, hey, we can handle this. We're Northwest Indiana. What did you see there? Yeah, JP, for sure. I see your comment. Going linear is great news, for sure. All right. Some hail and some wind for Amber. Amber, thank you for that comment. Appreciate that report. A lot of lightning in the Hobart area. Jacqueline says, yeah, that's the thing, guys. You do not want to be going outside during this, even after it goes by, because there is some lightning in the air. A lot of it's cloud to cloud towards the end, but we're seeing a lot of cloud to ground strikes, at least initially, okay? Hammond is done. I saw the comment there. Thunder and rain isn't bad in Chesterton. That's good. Did you have any wind there, Lauren, in the Chesterton area? Adriana, it's eerily calm, but I'm not worried about a tornado threat for you. There's no tornado threat for Chesterton right now, okay? So trying to interact with you guys. Meg, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Racer X, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. I do appreciate that. Lasted 5 minutes or so in Burns Harbor. Not too bad. High winds, pea-sized hail. We can handle it. Good to know. But then we have Patrick who says extreme winds when it rolled in also. So, there are pockets of some stronger winds, and all of our opinions are a little different too. I get that. Let's see. That's true. Michael, great comment. I totally get that. Cherville, Ian, yes. All right, let me clear some folks out. I don't want you guys to be worried any longer than you need to be. All right, let's go back to our reflectivity. There are a lot of you I can clear out right now, okay? So in terms of severe weather threat, Lake County, you're done, all right? Thanks for joining us tonight. I do appreciate that. But yeah, Lake County, we're good right now. Heavy rain. There's still a little bit of wind, maybe a little hail left over eastern half of the county. But Lake County, I know you've got a severe thunderstorm warning still. You're done. Okay, severe weather threat's over. We're going to head towards some snow tomorrow morning, some wet snow. So there's that. Before I lose my Lake County folks, just want to promote our webpage, regionweather.com. We have an email every single morning that I type up and send out. It's not a bot. It's not AI. It's not weather.com putting something generic your way. It's a meteorologist typing something up for your forecast. I would love if you would subscribe to that on regionweather.com. You go off to the right-hand side of it. You click sign up. I will not flood your inbox with anything other than one post a morning. If there's severe weather like this, I let all my email subscribers know the timing of this and what's coming in, okay? So just that's a little hidden gem here in Northwest Indiana that you get from a human, not a robot. So before I lose my Lake County folks, I would be just blown away if you would sign up for that. Again, I don't get anything out of it, but my goal is to reach as many people here in Northwest Indiana as we can when we have times like this. So I appreciate that. Lake County, all right, go eat dinner. You are good to go in Lake County. We are fine. Down towards the south. Let's take a look at this storm, and then I may be able to clear you out and go severe weather clear. Yeah, Newton County, boy, we're really close, Newton County. I would say we're really close to going severe weather clear for you. Just a little squirrely action northern half of the county, but I would imagine this thing stealing the show off towards the north is going to take that away. So Newton County, another 5 minutes, you'll be good. Go have dinner, get out of your safe places. You'll be fine, all right? Right now, we don't have a tornado warning, all right? But we need to treat our severe thunderstorm warning like it's going to produce some damage, okay? So if you're in Porter County right now or LaPorte County, heads up to you, the storm is coming your way. Couts, we've got strong winds just off towards your west, but again, they're coming in at a different angle, all right? We want it to go from a northeast to southwest angle when it comes in because it's less of a blow. It's not as pungent of a hit of wind. Meanwhile, in Valpo, we had your strong winds, still seeing some strong winds likely, but boy, do they get stronger off towards the north. All right, let's focus in on Michigan City real quick. Michigan City, these strong winds are moving in right now. Make sure you're in the safe place. A couple of things I'm watching here. This notch right here, there's a little bit of a notch just north of you. I don't like the look of it. It doesn't mean there's something there, but we are certainly seeing just an area of inflow that's a little bit stronger than everywhere else on this line and the little area of outflow here and up above it, all right? That tells me, kind of like a string, if you were to push it this way, you'd get the curl effect on both other sides, and that curl effect can produce some rotating wind at times, okay? Not a concern. It's just something I would keep an eye on and something I am going to keep an eye on. But the good news is it's just offshore or just on the shoreline right now. But Michigan City, you've got heavy rain, some hail, and some strong winds that are going to pick up here shortly. With everyone else that's been going through this, they're all saying about 4 or 5 minutes or so of real strong winds and heavy rain, and then it kind of backs off, all right? So for my folks and friends and family in Michigan City right now, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes of this, and it starts right about now. It'll start moving in, okay? And just get to a safe place just in case, especially if you got a lot of trees around your property. Just worst case scenario, you don't want that to happen. So there you go. Radar updated. It's now moving into Michigan City. Long Beach, you're up next. Another 2 minutes or so for you out towards Springfield. This is getting right along 94 there. Down towards the south, our friends in Otis are picking up some strong winds. Westville, you're getting some strong winds here shortly. It's already picked up a little bit. Down towards Haskell. Wanata, this storm is still off towards your west. The wind is picked up, but it's not strong yet. It's just gotten a little breezier. You guys are probably noticing that. The real strong winds right now are just back towards the west. Valpo, still some gusty winds for you. Let's look at hail real quick. We'll go back to that. Okay, where's my hail? There we go. All right, in terms of hail, Yeah, we've got some. It's really not too big of a deal, though. Pea-size hail at best right now. Some bigger hail. This is what we were concerned with earlier, offshore right now. That'll head up into maybe that'll be north of New Buffalo. But overall, that could be your golf ball size hail I was concerned with. But hail has not been too big of an issue in terms of damage here this afternoon into the evening. The wind has been, though. I'm going to let this play so you can kind of see the movement of it. I'm not sure why it flashes like a Christmas tree bulb, but it does. So I'm going to stop that because that's annoying. But you get the movement idea of it, everything moving northeast around 50. All right, let's go back to reflectivity again. We'll take you through where these storms are right now. Guys, this is great news. I love this. I love the way this looks down towards the south. This is all kind of muddled. We've got a general rain falling outside these thunderstorms. That tells me this is starting to fall apart down towards the south, all right? And that's good news for folks that have friends and family out towards the east, Plymouth, Elkhart, LaGrange. That's a good sign. I like the fact that it's doing this because we don't have a lot of instability out here. All right, our storm threat, I drew a little too much. Our storm threat today is basically in here. Okay, that's where, man, this thing will not shut off when I'm clicking it. I'm so sorry. It's like one of my kids got a hold of it. So that's some good news for areas out east. There's still a severe threat, but it wanes in intensity, kind of like the storms typically do when they move in here. I mean, typically we're dealing with storms that we inherit that are bad west, and then they kind of weaken as they move in. Not today. Today's setup was that storms would be strong when they move through, and then they weaken out towards the east, okay? All right, general rainfall right now for you in Valpo. Michigan City getting hit hard right now. You're getting hit harder than anyone else here in northwest Indiana with strong winds, some hail, and very heavy rain. This part of the storm's pretty strong right now as well, from Burdick up towards the town of Pines. Heads up to you in Waterford, in Holmesville, Otis. This area of heavy rain and likely some small hail and strong winds is heading out in your direction as well, okay? That will get into Springville, Rolling Prairie as well. And eventually into LaPorte. LaPorte's starting to see some raindrops. I like the look at this as well. We're starting to get some rain out ahead of it. That's a sign that we've got some outflow-driven convection that's developing on the leading edge as this rain shield just gets bigger and bigger across areas of Porter County. All right, Porter County, I can almost clear you out. We still have strong winds in the eastern half of the county right now. Yeah, I don't want to clear Porter County out yet. A lot of lightning, all these little plus symbols on here that you see. That's showing all the lightning strikes. A lot of lightning over Chesterton right now, heading into the Michigan City area. A few lightning strikes down towards Valpo, but the bulk of it's off towards the north. All right. Couple things I do like it now. It just changed. This was getting kind of muddled down here, and I was going to watch the latest scan to see if there was any rotation down towards Couts. That's that same storm that we were tracking down towards the Schneider area. I was going to keep an eye on it this scan, but this last scan, it kind of went away. So that's some good news, at least on that front. In terms of the wind, that Boeing part is heading right along the lakeshore right now. New Buffalo, if you have friends or family there, heads up, they're going to have some really strong winds. And some of those strong winds are going to come off the lake where there's not a lot of friction. So some damaging winds likely in New Buffalo. Michigan City, you're in the thick of it right now. So there's that. All right, Nicole says, had some hail in Michigan City. Wasn't that big. Yeah, probably pea-size, Nicole. Shouldn't be too bad. Jenna says, holy thunder. Let's see. Ryan, you're absolutely welcome. Yeah, thanks for joining us, buddy. I appreciate it. It's not a snowstorm, but certainly on the rainy side of things. Thanks for the hail report. Nothing too significant. Good. That's the way we want to keep it for sure. Let's see. Angie asking about how to sign up. Yeah, so Angie, in terms of it's a web page. It's regionweather.com. We've been around for years. But on the web page, if you go there, you'll see on the right-hand side, it says sign up for email. You just type your email there, hit click. And what I do every single morning at work, I have a TV job. That's my main job. This is kind of a hobby. Has been for about 12 years. That's a long hobby, right? But anyway, on the TV side of things, in the morning, got some downtime. So I type up an email and get a little weather picture for you guys that I make. And I'll send you out a morning email that basically tells you, what we're expecting for the day and stuff like that. But most importantly, it's from a human being. It's not from a bot or weather.com. So there's that. So just know there's someone that's caring about your weather every morning, and I'll send it to your inbox. You can wake up and say, oh, that's cute. I'll often say good morning or have a great day. Kind of nice. But anyway, we have a lot of people that are signed up for that already, and people love it. and I will not spam your inbox, but that way I can get information to you if we're going live, stuff like that. Nicole says, Nicole, I love your last name. Is that German? None of your business. That's nice. Huge lightning strikes in Michigan City right now. Yeah, that lightning's heading up towards you. So there's that. Pearl says, I love the emails every morning. Appreciate that. Anastasia, let's see, Michigan City, the worst of it's going through right now with the heavy rain and the wind. Let's go back to the radar. Yeah, so you're in the thick of it for another probably 6 or 7 minutes, and then it'll just be a general rainfall. But there's a lot of lightning in this portion of the storm. I think it's interacting with some of the cold air out over the lake. And boy, we're getting a lot of lightning in northern areas of Porter County, getting into northern areas of LaPorte County right now. Let me give LaPorte an update real quick. LaPorte, some light raindrops starting for you. Let's check the wind because we will have some strong wind moving in. Yeah, see, it's already windy for you in LaPorte. Strongest wind still out towards your west. All right, Holmesville, Trail Creek, Long Beach, Michigan City. You've got that strong gust of wind. That's the worst part that's going through right now. We'll keep our eye on this little noise down to the south. I'll have my eye on it. Wanata, you've got some weak rotation as well. Nothing to write home about. I want you guys to know that thunderstorms rotate all the time. All right. Most of the time we don't know about it. So it's okay to see these little rotations. It happens. But we need to keep our eye to make sure it's not a trend. Okay. I would keep my eye on that area and this area here. Okay. Those are the two I highlighted. And then this area right up here by Grand Beach, it's heading into Michigan right now, New Buffalo. That's the area I would have concern with for a quick spin up. That's the same one we tracked earlier. And again, we've got a frontal boundary, a warm frontal boundary that's draped right through here like that. And so these storms can interact with that and produce quick spin ups. And so I would give a heads up to areas like New Buffalo. Nothing yet that would need tornado warned, but this needs watched closely. Okay, I'm just going to call that out in advance. And then down towards the south, again, just south of Pinhook, just east of Westville, I've got my eye on that, and I've got my eye on this in Wanata. There are areas of rotation, but again, not bad enough to have to produce a tornado warning or anything like that. All right, just areas we'll watch as this approaches LaPorte. All right, so your winds right now, you can see those bright yellows just kind of gusting out. This is your area of strong winds that continues to kind of gust from the center of that line right now. Remember, the rain brings down cold air. And so when you have a lot of cold air, which is heavy and dense, it likes to sink. When you have that coming down to the ground, it brings a whole chunk of air with it. And when it hits the ground, it goes out. All right. It can't go into the ground, so it goes out. So when you have heavy rain and cold air within a thunderstorm, it's heavy, it sinks, it goes into the ground, and that's that gush of wind that you see. And that's oftentimes what forms some of these strong winds on the leading edge of a storm, is because you've got so much rain and so much cold air dropping inside that thunderstorm that you're feeling the gush of wind from that once it hit the ground and it comes out. The other thing that we have to watch, and the other way that we get wind in thunderstorms, is when you have updrafts that go in and they get that jet stream wind. So we've got a wind that's howling up inside the clouds, just above cloud level in the mid-level of the atmosphere, depending on how low the clouds are. But you've got real strong wind once you get up in there, right? And these clouds will build up into it, some of the more organized thunderstorms. And the updrafts and downdrafts that are typical in a thunderstorm will go up. It'll grab that jet stream wind, which can be on the order of 60, 70, 100 miles per hour. It grabs that and brings it down with the downdraft. So that's the other way that we get damaging winds with the storms. And that's the way that we're getting this area of damaging winds with this storm, is it's tapping into some jet stream level energy. And we knew that was going to be a possibility. I mean, that was going to be our primary threat today, was for damaging winds. So overall, compared to our forecast, I mean, everything has behaved as expected. We had a low-end tornado risk. We had the tornado warning earlier. We have a higher-end damaging wind risk, and that's what we're seeing right now across the region. And I did expect the hail to be a little bit larger. So I thought we'd have perhaps golf ball size hail. It's only been nickel size or lower so far. So that's some good news. All right, we are not done yet. All right, I don't want us to let our guard down in LaPorte County. You can see the latest radar trend there. How we have kind of a little flare up here just south and west of LaPorte. All right, that's the part we're going to keep an eye on as that continues to kind of further develop. We're going to have some heavy rain and perhaps some hail developing that'll move right into downtown LaPorte there. Wanata, you've got heavy rain. The one thing that we need to watch in Wanata right now is the fact that we've got this storm, this separate storm kind of moving in this direction, and then we've got a line moving in this direction. We can see spin ups with that as well. All right. So again, I don't want us to go into cutesy mode and get all relaxed here. because we could still have a spin up, and my eye would be on LaPorte County right now, where your severe thunderstorm warning is. Okay, so let's dive into the wind. That's going to tell us our true story with what's going on right now. And again, the wind continues to gust on the leading edge of this, getting into LaPorte County. All right, in terms of any tornado issues or anything like that, we still have kind of a messy area of rotation down towards the south. Notice how it just went away. They go away when I circle them. That's great. Mother Nature's listening. Little area here over LaPorte. That was that area of rotation I was watching earlier. Not too much of a concern other than the fact we've got damaging winds, at least a potential for it moving into LaPorte right now. All right, so prepare for damaging winds for you. That extends down towards Door Village, South LaPorte, Monroe Manor, over towards Salem Heights and Stillwell. You need to be on alert for the storm. Again, damaging winds of primary risk from this. Springfield, you're in it right now. The storm is moving through New Buffalo, up in southwest lower Michigan. Rolling Prairie, you've got a little bit of time, probably another 5 minutes or so before these strong winds get to you. For you folks in Rolling Prairie, I'm going to keep my eye on it because we can still spin something up. We've got a couple little notches here. They're nothing significant. Again, this happens all the time in storms, but it's what I'm going to focus on here in terms of keeping an eye on the radar. And then down towards La Crosse, we've got another area of lightning here. This is that storm that's kind of moving into this storm here. A little lightning down towards Wheatfield. I know it looks like we've got rotation down here. That's a lot of noise. I'm not too concerned about that. But we will keep our eye on the next couple scans. In this area here, just something to watch. Remember, we have a storm here that's moving into the line, which is moving this way. So putting those two things together, do we get a little area of rotation that forms right here when they kind of collide? Could certainly be something that we have here. And again, that would be just south and east of Wanata. We'll keep our eye on that. Otherwise, damaging winds, still some small hail within these storms as they continue out into LaPorte County, eventually getting out towards South Bend. Worst of this looks to miss South Bend, though. That's some good news. Michelle says, severe thunderstorm warning cleared for DeMont. Yes, you are clear right now in DeMont. We look good right now. Joanna asking if Northwest Indiana is done. Most of us are done right now. The only people that need to be on this chat, the rest of you should be with your families, having dinner, stuff like that. But again, Lake County is clear right now. We've got rain. Your severe weather threat's over. Porter County, the exception being Couts right now. Hang with me if you're in Couts. Valpo off towards the north, you can clear on out. Have a great evening, okay? You're fine right now. Newton, Jasper County, you guys are now severe weather clear. All right, you're all cleared out. You're good to go. Look, I made a hungry face. Yay, I'm hungry. I don't know what that is. Okay, in terms of areas that we need to watch, though, Stark County, we're still going to keep our eye on you, although I'm not too impressed with what's happening south and west. Really, the only folks that should be on right now outside of typical region weather followers and weather junkies should be our LaPorte County folks, okay? We've got probably another 15 or 20 minutes till this storm clears you, all right? And I want to make sure we don't have any areas of rotation as it moves through, okay? Mary, you're welcome. I see your comment for sure. Yes, JP, once the storms move through, temps will start to drop. We are looking at wet snow overnight. It's insane. I mean, we felt, and I said this earlier in a broadcast, we felt, last day of winter today, congratulations, it felt like spring. And then tomorrow's first day of spring, it'll feel like winter. And much of the week, Kimberly, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. I appreciate that. In much of the week and actually looking at long-term patterns, just to kind of give you some insight to that, I'm looking at kind of chilly temperatures the next 10 to 12 days or so. There's going to be a trough that settles into the eastern half of the country. The ridge builds out west, so that's where the warm air will be. So we're going to stay coolish. Doesn't mean it's bad weather. We're just going to go back to a lot of 40s in the forecast. We'll have a couple blips where we go into the 50s. But in terms of these 70-degree temperatures we've had on and off the last week and a half, I'm not going to see that in the future here. Cindy, you're welcome. I appreciate that. All right, so let's see. Oh, Lori, great. This is a great question. She asked, are we done for the night or we have more storms later? Lori, we are done for the night. Tonight's storms are one and done. All right, we've got a one hit going through and then it's out of here. We're going to turn colder tonight with snow tomorrow morning. Dave, you're welcome. As always, thanks for joining us on our YouTube. All right, Portage is fine. I see that. I see a couple of you. Nicole, Brittany asking about Portage. Portage is good right now. You just got rain. Your severe weather threat is completely over for you guys in Portage. It's just LaPorte County that has a severe threat from here through the rest of the evening. So we're keeping our eye on the storm moving into LaPorte. So for my friends in LaPorte and Rolling Prairie and New Carlisle, Hudson Lake, let's get to you right now. Let's look at this storm. So we've got heavy rain moving into LaPorte right now. Here's our secondary storm down towards Kingsford Heights that I've got my eyes on. Both of these are producing some small hail. We've got strong winds on the leading edge of these as well. All right. Something to keep in mind as we look at the radar, we are now getting further and further from the radar site, which is back in Romeoville, okay, in Illinois. That radar beam shoots out straight. However, the Earth is curved, despite what some people think. So that radar beam with the Earth's curvature is going higher and higher in the sky, further out that you get from the radar site. So we are not getting a true read in LaPorte at what is happening on the ground right now. We could go to the northern Indiana radar, but it's pretty much the same thing. I'm not saying this is no man's land, but we don't get a clear indicator in LaPorte County or Stark County of what's happening down at the surface just based on where the radar sites are. All right. So that being said, we tend to get some kind of overdone reflectivity in terms of the wind as it's shooting higher up into the cloud where it's typically windy. So we're not quite getting what it translates to down at the ground. So for you folks that are in LaPorte County right now, let me know what you're seeing at the ground level if you could. I could give you radar analysis all day, but again, I'm not getting a true reading at the surface where we live. I'm getting a true reading at just up above us in the clouds, and some of those don't always correlate to each other perfectly. So I want to make sure we get you the most accurate forecast we can get, and a lot of times that comes from you guys at the ground letting us know what's happening. All right, so gusty winds are now through LaPorte. LaPorte's getting some strong wind right now. Gustiest winds are just east of town. Rolling Prairie, you've got probably another minute or two before those strong winds move in. Let's time this out as we go and take the strongest winds along the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll get it into Michigan. Let's do 50, still moving around 50 with this. So Byron, about 6 minutes till those strong winds move in. Rolling Prairie, about 7. Bircham, about 10. Hicks in 11 minutes. Lake Park in 12. Hudson Lake in 12. New Carlisle, you've got about 15 minutes before those strong winds move in. And then we're crossing into the Michigan side of things where we're talking Bakertown, 25 minutes, Bertrand in 30 minutes, and then getting into Niles, a little bit bigger of a town there, in about 33 minutes, okay? And that's, again, crossing the state line into Michigan, all right? That's for the strong winds with the storm system. I don't see anything. Let me get that out of here. I don't see anything weird down towards the south. I don't see any winds misbehaving. There are a couple pockets here and there where there's a gust and then there's not. But I don't see any areas of rotation within that. That is some great news. So it's really just LaPorte County right now, and I'm more specifically talking from LaPorte out towards the east. That's about it. That's what we're down to here in terms of severe weather threat, right in this area right here, okay? This is our threat for severe weather. So know where you are geographically. What you're looking at here in this outline is LaPorte County, all right? So if you're in the northeastern half of LaPorte County, you still have a severe weather threat. Over the next 5 or 10 minutes. We'll take you through it. But everyone else, boy, we have cleared things out nicely here. We really have. Our severe weather threat is pretty much over for the region, and I like that. I'm sure you do too. How long have we been going? A minute or 1 hour and 13 minutes? Okay, so we can still go here. We got it. In terms of this thunderstorm down to the south, I'll keep my eye on it. And we've got kind of some new development here from La Crosse to Kingsford Heights. But this rain that's out in advance of it is really kind of negating all this rain you see from Knox, Stark County. You don't have much of a severe threat right now. All this rain is kind of cooling the atmosphere in advance of that. So I like to see the rain shield kind of form in advance. That tells us our storms are weakening. You notice where the strongest part of the storm is right here. And notice what's out ahead of it. There's no rain, all right? Whereas down to the south, we've got a big rain shield that's starting to develop. So this stuff really isn't able to get going a whole lot. Plus, we just don't have any instability. Instability is extremely low today. These have overcome that instability and lack of moisture, essentially, in terms of high dew points and humidity. These have overcome that with the tremendous amount of shear in the atmosphere. So in terms of shear, I mean, we explain it all the time, but today's shear is both directional and speed shear. Directional shear is when you go outside, the wind is at a certain direction. Okay, it's coming at you from the south, southeast. All right. And then you go up into the sky and it's coming out of the west. And so that wind, as it builds up, has to connect that southwest wind to a west wind or southeast wind to a west wind. And so it churns to do that, right? The air has to flow like that. And so that is that's directional shear, where it changes direction as it goes up in the cloud. And that's what we have today. That's why we had the rotation earlier, but it was stronger out towards the west. We also have speed shear, is when the wind is much stronger up above and it's lighter here at the surface. As that wind gets stronger up above, you get a rolling effect to the motion to the atmosphere, and that can help tornadoes to develop as well. So we had both of those today, but again, they are strongest west. They were strongest back towards the west. That's why we're kind of losing that tornado threat. That's good news. Kingsbury right now, Kingsford Heights, you've got some heavy rain, likely some small hail within that. That's getting into Stillwell here. Another 5 minutes for you in Stillwell. Fish Lake, some hail and some strong winds coming your way. LaPorte, you've got heavy rain, some lightning around, so obviously stay inside. But the severe threat is now east of you, getting into Rolling Prairie and Bircham right now. Byron, you're getting into it in Hillside. This will get into New Carlisle, Hudson Lake here in another 5 or 10 minutes, okay? Let's go back to our wind. There's your wind gust. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. What is this? Yeah, I don't like this area of rotation here just to the north and east of Kingsbury. Those are the two storms we were talking about coming together. That is the exact spot right there. So we need to keep an eye on it. That's just some noise. We are getting far away from the radar site, but there is some sign that we might have some rotation developing with that, all right? If that were to further develop, I'm going to go to the northern Indiana radar here in a second and get a second look. But if that were to further develop here, that would bring an area of rotation likely, let me see what way is this moving. Let me get the movement down first. That way I can draw my line. Yeah, see, that's where those two storms came together. No, it's not. It's on the northern end of that, so it's close to that. Yeah, so that's going to head in that direction. Let's stop the radar from moving. Let's go back to this again, and we'll tag this out. So this would be an area of rotation that's developing right now. Let's keep it that way at just development stage. That would bring that into Crumstown in 16 minutes, Olive in 17 minutes, Ziegler, sorry for mispronouncing that, in 18 minutes, and Hubbard in 18 minutes, okay? And that would include Westtown in about 20 minutes. So we'll keep our eye on that. Again, my job, and one of the things I love doing, is finding tornado warnings before they get issued. And I'm not saying this is going to be one, but that would be the area that we'd have to watch, okay? I do want to go to another radar site. We're going to go to northern Indiana right now, which is out towards the east. We'll get another look at this storm. The colors will change. That's because red is away, green is towards the radar. So when you have a radar site and things are moving in, all the colors change. But you can see that we still have that area rotation. It's not quite as pronounced, though, and that tells me that we're fine with that storm system, all right? We've got a little area here that I'd watch, not a big deal. But again, what we are seeing here is that really strong wind. We still have very strong winds on the leading edge of this, getting through Bircham and Rolling Prairie right now. LaPorte, still some gusty winds for you, but the severe threat, the worst part of the storm, is now out towards your east, okay? But these storms continue to race off towards the east. They're moving about 50 miles per hour to the east-northeast, all right? So if you kind of track that out, you look at the general motion of this. Let's see if this radar is any cleaner. No, it's not. I don't like how it pulses like that. I'll see if I can change settings. I wish it would just flow. And that's not data loading either. I thought maybe that's what it was at first. But you can see here's where the strong winds are, the leading edge. They're going this way, okay? And the strongest winds, this severe thunderstorm watch warning box is drawn perfectly because those severe winds are right in here, okay? And they're going in that direction. So they did a really good job with where they put that the polygon for that. All right. Let's see. Let me answer some of your questions. Naomi says, how is Wanata? Wanata is good right now. You are safe and severe weather clear. So you can go have dinner. The rest of the evening, severe weather clear. We've got some colder air coming in. We're going to have wet snow overnight tomorrow morning. I mean, happy spring tomorrow morning, right? Lexi says, Valpo. Valpo's fine, Lexi. Go ahead. Just relax the rest of the evening. We're fine. Erica, you would be just fine without me. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel, as always. I appreciate that, but no problem. All right. Eileen's with us. Hi, Eileen. Thunder and lightning in Rolling Prairie right now. She's one of our folks in Rolling Prairie. Thank you. Eileen, how is the wind with that? Are you seeing strong winds? Because we've got gusts on radar that are just starting to move through right now. I would guess on the order of 40 to 50. They may be above severe limits. Let me know what you're seeing in terms of wind. Joey, no problem. Have a great night. Let's see. Dragica, thank you. Wanata, calming down. Yes, you are calming down in Wanata. You are fine. Here's Wanata right now. Right here, I'll show you the radar. All the lightning's out towards your east right now. You are so golden in Wanata right now. with just your severe weather threats over. You've got downpours around, a little bit of lightning, but there's no severe threat for you in Wanata anymore. It is gone, all right? Our strongest storms, we've got 2 of them, and look at that radar update. This one near Stillwell is the one that we were watching. Real heavy rain and some hail with that. Meanwhile, it's just a heavy rain with some lightning and rolling prairie right now. So there's that. Yeah, thank you for that. So real strong winds and some small hail. Thanks for that report out of the rolling prairie area for sure. I appreciate that. Bob, thank you for that out of Michigan. High winds, rain, and some lightning. I appreciate that report. Let's see. Alexis says needing to travel to Missouri on Thursday. Looking okay. Yeah, Alexis, you'll be okay in terms of travel to Missouri on Thursday. Are you talking next week with next week's storm system, or are you talking tomorrow? You're talking tomorrow probably, right? Yeah, I don't see any huge accumulations out of the snow that's moving in. It's just we may have an inch in spots tomorrow morning waking up, depending on how it behaves, but it's going to be a wet snow. I don't anticipate huge problems on roads or anything like that. It's just a reminder that, like, oh, we're still in wintertime, right? Thank you, Josh. Thanks for that update out of Fish Lake, saying it's gotten really dark. Yeah, we'll give you an update there in Fish Lake. So Fish Lake, Josh, that was you that said that. So Josh, we've got some hail. You're going to get a pretty good thunderstorm out of this. You are. You've got probably the worst part of this line right now. We've got strong winds with it. We also have some hail kind of moving in. It's over Stillwell right now. And there's obviously the dark skies. Whenever you guys see the dark skies like that, I mean, not only are we getting closer to sunset, but when you have dark skies, it tells you how much moisture is inside those clouds. And so the dark sky doesn't mean severe. I mean, the sun's setting, so it's tricky right now, right? And it could be some of the dust mixed in that we talked about earlier. But that dark sky doesn't tell you severe. It tells you how much moisture is mixed in there, all right? So there's that. Okay, guys, so this is going to continue to move out towards Olive. I'm going to go. I've got to do a couple radio hits right now, so I'm going to let you guys go. I'll keep my eye on this if there's a tornado warning or something like that, which I don't anticipate. Obviously, we'll break back in, but we've got this little portion of LaPorte County to deal with probably for another 2 minutes. That includes Josh, you, and Fish Lake. Some hail and some strong winds will be moving in. I don't see much of a tornado threat right now, though. Let's look at the wind. Yeah, just strong winds moving in. It's what everyone else has been dealing with. So prepare for some damaging winds in Fish Lake and out towards the Kankakee area. But overall, that severe weather threat is winding down. So that's some good news, okay? Guys, thanks for spending time with me. I hope this helped. Stark County, Justin, I see your comment. Stark County has no threat right now. Just some general thunderstorms with gusty winds. So we'll be good, okay? All right, you guys have a wonderful night. We've got a little snow on the way tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. We're not going to deal with that tonight. I'm glad everyone's safe. And if you guys do have any damage pictures, anything like that, you can tag this post with your picture or send us a private message. We'll forward those to the National Weather Service so they can report those, okay? All right, meteorologist Matt Wintz for Region Weather. I appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you give us a follow on our YouTube channel as well if you get a chance. And we'll go from there. We've got more updates as we go throughout the spring. All right, thanks again, everybody.